Have you ever felt your heart skip a beat as you caught yourself from a stumble, gripping a table or a wall, wondering how you lost your balance? Or maybe you've had a close call, a moment where the ground seemed to betray you, leaving you shaken and scared. If you're over 60, this isn't just a fluke, it's a warning. Doctors are sounding the alarm. 99% of older women face balance issues because of 6 heartbreaking mistakes we make every day. Sisters, I've been there, flat on my floor, terrified I'd never feel steady again. But here's the hope. You can change this. Stay with me until the end, because the 6th mistake is one I made for years, and learning it could save your independence, your confidence, and maybe even your life. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. Wearing shoes that betray you. Oh, how we cherish our favorite shoes. Those buttery soft ballet flats we've worn to every family gathering, the cozy slippers that cradle our feet after a long day, or that one pair of heels we've danced in at weddings for decades. They're not just shoes. They're memories, extensions of our personality, symbols of who we are. But here's a hard truth that sneaks up on us after 50. Your feet are no longer the steadfast allies they were in your younger years. The arches that once sprang with every step have begun to flatten, their natural curves softening with time. The protective padding beneath your heels and toes, that invisible cushion that absorbed life's impacts, has thinned, leaving your bones closer to the ground than you realize. Those beloved shoes? They're not just out of fashion, they're a quiet betrayal, setting you up for a fall that could change everything. I learned this lesson in a moment that still stings with embarrassment. It was a crisp autumn afternoon, and I was strolling through the park, feeling effortlessly chic in my trusty black ballet flats. They were my go-to pair, worn to a perfect fit, their soles as smooth as glass from years of love. I was lost in thought, admiring the golden leaves, when a tiny crack in the sidewalk snagged my toe. In an instant, my body lurched forward, arms flailing like a cartoon character, right in front of a gaggle of teenagers sipping coffee on a nearby bench. Their stifled giggles echoed in my ears as I caught myself, just barely, against a lamppost. I didn't fall, but the heat of humiliation burned my cheeks. My flats, with their non-existent grip and flimsy structure, had no business on my feet anymore. They offered no support, no stability, no mercy. Podiatrists and physical therapists will tell you that the right footwear is your first line of defense against falls, which become a leading cause of injury after 50. According to the CDC, falls are the top cause of fractures, hospitalizations, and loss of independence among older adults, and poor footwear is a major culprit. The ideal shoes aren't just about comfort, they're engineered to keep you upright. Look for soles with a solid base, at least an inch thick, to absorb shock. Seek out treads with deep, grippy patterns to cling to slick surfaces like wet leaves or polished floors. A structure that hugs your ankles, think sneakers with laces or boots with a firm heel counter, provides the stability that flimsy slip-ons can't. And don't sacrifice your style for safety. Brands today offer chic options with memory foam insoles, supportive arches, and angelus, and even a touch of sparkle for those who love a bit of flair. I took the plunge and invested in a pair of supportive walking shoes with a cushioned sole and a sleek, modern design. The first time I wore them, I felt like I was walking on clouds. My steps were steadier, my posture taller, and I wasn't just walking, I was striding with a confidence I hadn't felt in years. But the danger isn't just outside. At home, those worn-out slippers or loose flip-flops are just as treacherous. A fall in your kitchen or bathroom can be catastrophic. A broken hip, for instance, can rob you of your independence overnight, with studies showing that only half of those who suffer a hip fracture regain their previous level of mobility. I swapped my old slippers for a pair with a sturdy sole and non-slip tread, and the difference was immediate. My home felt safer, my steps more secure. Your shoes are your foundation, your armor, your unsung heroes. Choose ones that lift you, that honor the grace and strength you've earned over a lifetime. Toss those traitorous old pairs in the donation bin, and step into footwear that empowers you to move through the world with confidence. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 2. letting your strength slip away. I used to think strength training was for the young and the restless, those gym rats in their neon spandex, hoisting barbells like they were auditioning for a superhero movie. At 50 and beyond, I convinced myself I was active enough. I gardened, kneeling to plant tulips and hauling bags of mulch. I scrubbed floors, vacuumed stairs, and chased my grandkids around the backyard, their squeals of delight echoing in the air. That was enough, right? But here's the silent thief of aging. After 50, our muscle mass begins to erode, slipping away at a rate of 1 to 2% per year, a condition called sarcopenia. It's so gradual you barely notice, until you're gripping the armrests of a chair, straining to stand, or hesitating at the top of a staircase, unsure if your legs will carry you down safely. My wake-up call came during a moment that still twists my heart. I was playing on the living room floor with my 5-year-old granddaughter, her tiny hands tugging at mine as she begged to be lifted onto my lap. I smiled, ready to scoop her up as I'd done countless times before, but as I shifted my weight, my legs wobbled. My knees buckled slightly, and I had to brace myself against the couch to keep us both from toppling. She giggled, thinking it was part of the game, but I froze. A cold wave of realization hit me. My legs weren't strong enough to hold us both. This wasn't just aging, it was neglect, a failure to nurture the strength that had carried me through decades of life. That moment wasn't just humbling, it was a warning. The good news is that it's never too late to rebuild. Research shows that even adults in their 70s and 80s can gain significant muscle strength with consistent resistance training. I didn't need a gym membership or a personal trainer to start. I began in my living room, armed with a pair of 3-pound dumbbells I found in the back of a closet. While watching my favorite evening shows, I did bicep curls and shoulder presses, feeling a gentle burn that reminded me my muscles were still there, waiting to be awakened. I added chair squats, sitting down and standing up slowly, using only my legs for support, and wall push-ups, pressing my palms against the kitchen wall as if pushing it away. 10 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and within a month, I felt like I'd turned back the clock. My legs were steadier, my core tighter, and I could catch myself if I tripped, my reflexes sharper than they'd been in years. Falls happen when your muscles can't react fast enough to correct a misstep, and weak muscles are a key risk factor. A strong body isn't just about looking good, though that's a nice bonus. It's about staying upright, staying independent, staying free. Now, when I walk my dog through the neighborhood, I hold my head high, my strides purposeful, feeling capable in a way I hadn't realized I'd lost. I can lift my granddaughter without a second thought, twirling her in the air as she laughs, and that joy is worth every squat, every curl. You deserve to feel that strength, that vitality too. Start small, 5 squats while brushing your teeth, a few cans of soup as weights during a commercial break, but start today. Your future self, the one who wants to hike with friends, play with grandkids, or simply stand from a chair with ease, is begging you to invest in your strength now. 3. Ignoring the eyes that guide you. Your eyes are more than poetic windows to your soul. They're the unsung guardians of your balance, the sentinels that help you navigate a world full of uneven sidewalks, sneaky curbs, and shadowy staircases. But as we age, our vision shifts in subtle, insidious ways. Depth perception, once razor-sharp, begins to blur, making it harder to judge the height of a step or the distance to a chair. Shadows play tricks, turning a harmless rug into a perceived abyss. Low light hides hazards, transforming a familiar hallway into a minefield. I didn't realize how much my vision had changed until a fall that still haunts me, a stark reminder of what happens when we ignore the eyes that guide us. It was late at night, the house cloaked in darkness, and I didn't want to wake my husband with the flick of a light switch. I crept toward the bathroom, my hand grazing the wall for balance, confident I knew every inch of my home. But as I stepped forward, I misjudged the edge of a small landing. Just a single step down, and my foot met air instead of floor. I crashed onto the tile below, my wrist slamming against the ground with a sickening jolt. The pain was sharp, radiating up my arm for weeks, but the fear lingered longer, a gnawing dread that I wasn't as steady as I thought. The next day, I booked an eye exam, and the optometrist's words hit hard. My glasses, 3 years old and scratched from countless cleanings, were woefully outdated. My night vision, weakened by age, was struggling to keep up. I'd been gambling with every step, and I'd lost. Updating my vision was like flipping on a light switch for my entire world. New lenses with anti-glare coatings and enhanced contrast made curbs, corners, and even the edges of my coffee table crisp again. I added high-index lenses to reduce distortion and bifocals to seamlessly shift between near and far. My optometrist also recommended regular eye exams, every 1 to 2 years after 50, since conditions like cataracts, glaucoma, or macular degeneration can creep in silently, further threatening balance. At home, I made simple changes: a plug-in nightlight in the hallway, a brighter bulb in the stairwell, and a habit of cleaning my glasses daily with a microfiber cloth. These small tweaks were transformative. Suddenly, I could spot a stray toy on the floor or a slick patch of ice on the driveway before it became a crisis. Vision is a cornerstone of balance, working in tandem with your muscles and inner ear to keep you steady. Studies show that poor vision increases fall risk by up to 50%, yet many of us delay eye exams or skimp on lighting to save a few dollars. Don't gamble with your safety. Book that overdue eye exam, even if you think your vision is fine. Replace dim bulbs with LED lights that mimic daylight, especially in high-traffic areas like kitchens and bathrooms. Keep your glasses pristine, free of smudges that blur your world. Your eyes are your guides, your protectors. Equip them with the tools they need to keep you safe, and you'll move through life with clarity and confidence. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 4. Trusting pills without question. Medications are often presented as lifelines, designed to manage chronic conditions, alleviate symptoms, or prevent serious health events. When my doctor prescribed a new pill to control my blood pressure, I was optimistic. I'd been struggling with occasional dizzy spells, and the promise of stability was a relief. The doctor assured me the medication was well tolerated, backed by studies, and widely prescribed. I trusted the process, filled the prescription, and began taking the pills as directed, expecting to feel better soon. But within days, something felt off. Instead of steadying me, the medication seemed to amplify my dizziness. Standing up from a chair felt like stepping onto a tilting ship. My vision blurred at the edges, and my legs wobbled as if the ground were shifting beneath me. At first, I dismissed these symptoms. I blamed stress from a busy week, poor sleep, or simply the inevitable toll of aging. After all, I was in my late 60s. Weren't these just part of the package? But one morning, as I reached for my coffee mug, the world spun violently. I lurched sideways, crashing into a wall, my heart pounding like a drum in my chest. That moment was a wake-up call. Shaken, I dug out the medication's information leaflet, a dense fold of paper I'd barely glanced at before. There, buried in the fine print, was a list of potential side effects: dizziness, lightheadedness, loss of balance, irregular heartbeat. I was stunned. The very symptoms I'd been experiencing were known risks, yet no one had emphasized them to me. My anger wasn't directed at my doctor, whom I trusted, or even the pharmaceutical system, but at myself. Why had I ignored my body's signals? Why had I assumed the pills were automatically safe because they came with a prescription? As we age, our bodies become less predictable in how they process medications. At 55, a standard dose might have worked perfectly, but at 70, the same dose can overwhelm your system. Our kidneys and liver, which metabolize drugs, slow down over time, meaning medications linger longer in our bloodstream. Add to that the complexity of polypharmacy, taking multiple prescriptions for various conditions, and the risks multiply. Side effects can interact in ways that mimic new illnesses, leading to misdiagnosis or additional prescriptions. For example, a blood pressure medication might cause dizziness, which a doctor might mistake for dehydration or an inner ear issue, prescribing yet another drug to address it. Determined to take control, I booked an appointment with my doctor. This time, I came prepared. I'd kept a detailed log of my symptoms: when the dizziness started, how long it lasted, what I was doing when it hit. I listed every medication I was taking, including over-the-counter supplements, and described how my body felt different since starting the new pill. My doctor listened carefully, reviewed my notes, and suggested a lower dose. Within a week of the adjustment, the dizziness vanished. I could stand, walk, and move without fear of toppling over. I felt like myself again, but more importantly, I felt empowered. This experience taught me a critical lesson. Medications are tools, not magic. They require vigilance. If you're prescribed something new, don't just swallow it and hope for the best. Research the drug, read the leaflet, look up reputable sources online, and ask your pharmacist about potential side effects. Keep a symptom journal, noting any changes in how you feel, even if they seem minor. A woozy moment or a slight wobble might be a clue that your body is struggling with the medication. Share this with your doctor, and don't worry about bothering them. They need this information to tailor your treatment. If you're managing multiple prescriptions, ask for a medication review to check for interactions. Your health isn't just about following orders. It's about advocating for yourself. By listening to your body and speaking up, you're fighting for your stability, your safety, and your quality of life. 5. Clinging to furniture instead of embracing support. For years, I prided myself on my independence. I'd lived alone, managed my home, and navigated life's challenges without leaning on anyone, or anything. So when my balance began to falter in my early 70s, I refused to acknowledge it. I'd shuffle through my house, gripping kitchen counters, steadying myself against door frames, or leaning on chairs to cross a room. I called it getting by, a temporary workaround until I magically got better. The idea of using a cane felt like admitting defeat, a public declaration that I was frail, old, less than. My pride, and perhaps my fear of what a cane symbolized, kept me tethered to this precarious routine. But pride can be a dangerous companion. One afternoon, I was carrying a basket of freshly folded towels to the bedroom. As I crossed the living room, my foot caught on a rug. There was no counter to grab, no chair to lean on, just me, the basket, and the floor rushing up to meet me. I hit the ground hard, towels scattering like confetti. The physical pain was sharp, a bruised hip, a sore wrist, but the emotional blow was worse. Lying there, I felt humiliated, not just for falling but for clinging to a false sense of independence that had put me at risk. That fall was a turning point. I realized that wall walking and furniture clinging weren't signs of strength, they were a trap. They limited my world, keeping me tethered to familiar spaces where I could predict the next handhold. True independence, I began to understand, wasn't about rejecting help. It was about choosing the tools that let me live fully. I swallowed my reservations and visited a medical supply store. To my surprise, canes weren't the clunky, clinical devices I'd imagined. I found one that was sleek, lightweight, and adorned with a subtle floral pattern that felt like an extension of my personality. It was sturdy enough to support me, but stylish enough to feel like a choice, not a necessity. Using the cane was a revelation. For the first time in years, I walked without scanning the room for the next thing to grab. My posture straightened, my steps grew confident, and I felt a freedom I hadn't realized I'd lost. I could venture outside, stroll through the park, or visit friends without fear of falling. The cane wasn't a surrender, it was a badge of courage, a declaration that I valued my safety and my ability to live boldly over outdated notions of pride. If you're furniture surfing through your home, gripping tables or walls to stay upright, it's time to reconsider what independence means. Mobility aids like canes, walkers, or even rollators aren't symbols of weakness. They're tools of empowerment. They let you move through the world with confidence, whether you're chasing grandkids, tending a garden, or simply enjoying a walk. Talk to your doctor or a physical therapist to find the right aid for you, and don't be afraid to personalize it. Choose a color, a pattern, or a style that feels like you. Letting go of the fear and embracing the tool that gives you back your freedom is one of the bravest choices you can make. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 6. Forgetting to train your balance. I never thought of balance as something you could train, like a muscle or a skill. To me, balance was just something you either had or didn't, and if it started to slip with age, that was just life. But a single senior fitness class changed everything. I signed up expecting gentle stretches or light chair exercises, something safe for someone in their 70s. Instead, the instructor challenged us to stand on one foot, walk heel to toe in a straight line, and shift our weight from side to side. I wobbled like a toddler taking their first steps, my arms flailing for stability. It was humbling, but it was also a revelation. Balance wasn't fixed. It was something I could build, even at my age. That class opened my eyes to a truth I'd overlooked. Balance is a dynamic system, relying on strong muscles, flexible joints, and a sharp connection between your brain and body. Over the years, I'd become sedentary, spending more time sitting than moving. My ankles had weakened, my core had softened, and my proprioception, the body's ability to sense its position in space, had dulled. I hadn't fallen yet, but I was a fall waiting to happen. The instructor explained that balance declines naturally with age, but it's not inevitable. With consistent practice, your body, even in your 70s or 80s, can adapt and grow stronger. I started small, dedicating 5 minutes a day to balance exercises in my living room. I practiced standing on one leg while brushing my teeth, holding onto the sink for support at first. I walked heel to toe across the kitchen, focusing on each step. I did gentle side-to-side weight shifts, feeling my ankles and hips engage. Within weeks, I noticed a difference. My steps felt surer, my posture lifted, and I could move without that nagging fear of tripping. One evening, feeling bold, I put on an old record and started dancing in my kitchen, twirling to songs from my youth. It wasn't just physical strength, it was joy, confidence, and a sense of reclaiming my body. Balance exercises don't require fancy equipment or a gym membership. A corner of your living room, a sturdy chair for support, and a few minutes a day are enough. Simple moves like standing on one leg, doing calf raises, or practicing tightrope walking, heel-to-toe steps, can make a profound difference. You can find free balance exercise videos online, tailored for seniors, or join a local fitness class for camaraderie and guidance. If you're unsure where to start, a physical therapist can design a program suited to your needs. The beauty of balance training is its ripple effect. Stronger balance means fewer falls, but it also means more freedom to live the life you love, chasing grandkids, tending a garden, or pursuing dreams you've put on hold. It's like brushing your teeth, a small, daily act that pays dividends over time. Don't wait for a fall to wake you up. Start today, and build the strength to carry you through the vibrant years ahead. Sisters, we've walked through 6 life-changing mistakes that could steal your balance, your confidence, and your independence. But now you know how to fight back. You're stronger than you realize, and every step you take to protect your stability is a step toward living your golden years with grace and joy. I want to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that hit home? Maybe it's swapping out those old slippers, starting a simple balance exercise, or booking that overdue eye exam. Share in the comments below. One lesson you're taking to heart and will bring into your life. Your story might inspire someone else. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips to thrive in these beautiful years. Keep shining, and let's keep dancing through life together.